Hey everybody, it's KevRA.
Oh, that's me. I'm KevRA. Hello.
So this video is a follow-up video to the previous video that I just posted where I talk about Mario Party Superstars being a franchise. And the way I talk about DLC in this video is kind of based on that video. So if you haven't watched that video yet, here's a link. Go click and watch it. If you've already watched that video, well, hello, welcome back. So I've already seen a lot of people say that they think there's only going to be one board per pack, and with some mini games and a new character. And I don't think that's the case, and here's why. I think it's going to be at least 2 to 3 boards per DLC pack. That way they can bundle stuff together, and they can bundle the boards that they would be worried about not selling well individually, and then package them with the really popular boards that people definitely want to buy. So being the analytical problem solver that I am, I want to go over some of the ideas I came up with for specific DLC packs. Okay, so Mario Party Superstars came with 5 boards. There are 15 boards left, and that's kind of how this whole thing started. I decided to print them all out, cut them up, and then kind of mix and match them to make my own DLC packs, or try to figure out exactly what the DLC packs could look like. Yes, I do have a lot of free time on my hands. Why do you ask? But anyway, that mixing and matching that I did, that's what we're about to go over. I kind of came up with 2 different solutions. The first idea is that they start off with free DLC to basically announce that there will be paid DLC to come later. So let's go ahead and start with that one. You know, one of the big things that people complained about was the fact that Mario Party 1 and 2 both got 2 boards each, and that Mario Party 3 only got 1 board. So if we're gonna get the free DLC, that 6th board is likely gonna be a Mario Party 3 board. My 2 big bets for what that would be is either Spiny Desert or Chilly Waters. Chilly Waters would fit perfectly if they announce it within the next month because it's winter, it's Santa, it's Christmas time. Like, that is the perfect time to be like, hey, free DLC, and you know what's a great Christmas gift? Is getting Mario Party Superstars for winter, because look here, it's like a Christmas themed map. It's ice themed, it's winter themed, yay! Now, if you're someone who absolutely hates Chilly Waters, this is bad news for you, but the silver lining is next year you can sing to Nintendo, last Christmas, I gave you my heart, and then the very next day, you gave me Chilly Waters? Like, what the? But I feel like if it was coming in time for the holidays, they would have already announced it. Unless they air it, like, at the Game Awards, which I feel like they wouldn't, strictly because even though Mario Party is a big seller, a big part of the reason why is because it reaches that casual audience, and that casual audience, made up of families who play Mario Party together, are not going to sit around as a family to watch the Game Awards. But at the same time, I have been comparing this to Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, and Super Smash Bros. Ultimate revealed DLC at the Game Awards last year. So I guess there's possibly a chance. And I guess they could always wait until after Christmas as well. Because it's not like winter ends after Christmas. We've still got a few more months after that. But I really just feel like if they don't announce it soon, then it's not going to be this next option that I'm about to go into detail over. Or at least not with Chilly Waters. I guess they could technically wait until the end of winter and then do Spiny Desert as spring and summertime have almost arrived, and then also show off the boards that they've been working on that will be available to buy very soon. So let's go ahead and start with that concept. So whenever Spiny Desert comes out, or whatever the map is, it'll probably have either 5 or 10 minigames, and then it'll have 1 free character. And of course, again, it will announce that more packs are coming soon. Now with this version that I'm going over, it'll be 8 total DLC packs, 1 of them will be free, 7 of them will be pay. Although I don't think that they will announce that they'll be doing 7 packs, instead what I think they'll be doing is they'll be playing it by ear, selling off each one, planning for the next one, but seeing how that last one sells, and if it's not doing great, then maybe they rethink about still continuing to do DLC. So basically the paid DLC would have 2 boards per pack, they would have somewhere between 5 to 20 minigames, and 1 character each. Now in this version, each DLC pack would basically be named after a certain character who has a board. And we'd also be pairing a strong board with a board that might not sell as well. So the first one that I think Indie Cube would start off with is the Bowser pack. You know, one of the complaints about Mario Party Superstars is that it didn't have a Bowser board. I mean, so many Mario Party games have had some sort of Bowser board. And apparently, a lot of people love Bowser Land. But a lot of people don't really seem to like Bowser's Magma Mountain. I love it, but actually I like Bowser's Magma Mountain more than I like Bowser Land. But again, survey says Bowser's Magma Mountain, not that popular. Bowser Land, very popular. So you do a Bowser pack. You sell both of those Bowser boards. That way, if people aren't really interested in Bowser's Magma Mountain, or if someone really likes Bowser's Magma Mountain but they don't like Bowser Land, again, this deal is perfect for you because while maybe one of these boards is not your absolute favorite, you still get a handful of minigames and a playable character. Now for the rest of the DLC packs, I could kind of see them going in any order, but when Bowser's usually causing trouble, who usually follows? Mario. So that's when you come out with a Mario DLC pack. You got Mario's Rainbow Castle, and you got Eternal Star. Eternal Star finishes off the Bowser board maps, and then Mario's Rainbow Castle is just, well, it's kind of a classic. Or at the very least, the song from that map is, because, in fact, let's go ahead and play it right now. I know what you're thinking. This beat is sick, yo. I know. Oh, I know. Seriously, why don't I have more friends? Anywho, I feel like these two boards have a mixed reaction. I think there's a lot of people who think Mario's Rainbow Castle is the lesser version of Yoshi's Island or the lesser version of Castaway Bay. But then there's people like me who actually like it better than those other two maps. And it's not just because of the sick beat, yo, although this sick beat probably does help. And I think Eternal Star is one of those where either people love the fact that they're not sure where they're warping to, or they hate it because it makes it a harder map. So that's part of the reason why I think these two actually go well together, is because they both have a mixed reaction. And because it's Mario, it's a star, like I feel like those kind of just go hand in hand. Then who better to follow Mario than his brother, Luigi? Luigi's pack would contain Luigi's Engine Room and Creepy Cavern. Again, thematically, I feel like these two kind of go together a little bit well. They're both a little bit darker. They also both have a bit of a mechanical aspect because one's an engine room and the other one has mine carts, and maybe those mine carts are taking coal to the engine room, who knows? I also feel like Creepy Cavern is a map that people are like, it's okay, and Luigi's Engine Room is actually one that people like. Then, coming in to ruin and foil the Luigi pack, we have Waluigi. The Waluigi pack will clearly contain Waluigi's Island, and then also Pirate Land. I feel like thematically, these two really go together. Waluigi is kind of a villainous character. Pirates are obviously villainous. One's on an island, the other one is about pirates who sail from sea to sea. And Waluigi's Island is pretty popular, whereas Pirate Land, even though I really enjoy it, it seems like a lot of people don't like it because of the fact that the bridge is kind of a pain, due to the fact that it can be really difficult to cross, and if the ship decides to blow you up, it's really gonna set you back. But with how often we get double dice, triple dice, and custom dice, I feel like people would like this map so much more in Mario Party Superstars. Then, to follow Waluigi, his partner in crime, Wario. So for Wario's pack, we got Wario's Battle Canyon and Western Land. Now there's a lot of people who really love Western Land, and there's a lot of people who really don't love Wario's Battle Canyon. Although I will say, the other day I was playing online with my friend Zach, and he just goes, what about Wario's Battle Canyon? I feel like they should totally add that one. I really like that one. And I was like, oh my gosh, yes. However, I do see why some people don't like it. It can be very frustrating due to the fact that where you land is completely random. But you know what? As long as you put Western Land in this pack, they're going to be pretty happy because they got Western Land. Now, after Wario's pack, we've got DK's pack with DK's Jungle Adventure and Mystery Land. You know, out of all the ones that I think might not sell well, I feel like it would be this one. I feel like a lot of people don't like Mystery Land, myself included. And then DK's Jungle is one of those maps where, you know, I like it, but I feel like a lot of other people are just kind of like, it's a very basic, simple map. I mean, this was the only one where I went, yeah, I guess. I mean, they both have like a jungle theme going for them. And even though I know there's a lot of people out there who really don't like Mystery Land, it is their least favorite Mario Party 2 board, I have seen people asking for it, as opposed to DK's Jungle Adventure, where I feel like I haven't really seen anyone being like, oh, please let that be the DLC. And last we have a bit of an odd one, because I kind of ran out of characters, but it is technically a character. We have the Blooper Pack with Deep Blooper Sea, along with Chilly Waters. I think people like Chilly Waters a little bit more than they like Deep Blooper Sea, but I feel like overall, it's one of those things where people are mostly just like, yeah, I kind of like those boards. They're not my favorites, but like, I don't hate them, and they would probably go ahead and buy them just to play more Mario Party. Or to see how they've been remade and what differences there are, because As we've seen from the 5 previous boards that are on Mario Party Superstars, IndieCube has definitely done some tweaking to some of these boards. The gameplay is also a little bit different due to the fact that we now have custom dice blocks. So the problem area of Deep Blooper Sea, with basically those landmines of question marks where it could constantly switch you back and forth, can now be more avoided a little bit easier. So that's what I think this version of DLC could look like, although the one big change that could possibly happen is if instead of Spiny Desert being the free DLC, it's Chilly Waters. And if Chilly Waters is free, that means a lot of things are getting shifted around. Pirate Land is probably going to go to the Blooper Pack because they both have a water theme. And then Spiny Desert is probably going to go to DK's pack to help sell DK's jungle a little bit more. And then Mystery Land would actually go to Waluigi's pack to be packaged with Waluigi Island, so Waluigi Island could help sell Mystery Land a little bit better. Now the big question is, how much would all of these DLC packs cost? And I really think that depends on how many mini games they put in each pack. Because here's the thing, is even though they're selling DLC packs, you know they're going to sell stuff off individually in case people complain and like, oh, I don't want Creepy Cavern, I only want Luigi's Engine Room. And the mini games it comes with are crap and blah 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 blah. So you know they're gonna have an option where you can either buy the DLC pack for $15, $20, maybe $25, or you can buy everything individually. You can buy the mini games for $1 or 50 cents a piece. You can buy the character for like $5, and then each board would cost maybe about $10 each. But if you buy the DLC pack, you're basically saving about $10 for everything inside that pack. That's why I really think it just comes down to the mini games, because here's the thing, they'll probably look at this and they'll say, how many mini games total would we possibly want to do? If they did 20 mini games per paid DLC pack, that is 140 mini games, and then the free DLC would probably have like 10. That's 150 mini games. That means they would be more than doubling the amount of mini games that are already in the game. However, as I kind of said earlier, you know, I feel like IndieQ actually prefers the mini games as opposed to the board games. So maybe they would do those 20 mini games because that's what they'd rather be working on. Also, if they did that, they could actually add every single mini game that was on the N64 that was left off, including the different variations of mini games we've already gotten, like Hexagon Heat or the other version of Bombs Away. However, even if they did as little as 5 mini games per pack, that would still leave us with an additional 40 more mini games. I could also see them doing 10 mini games per pack, but the free one getting 5, which would leave us with 75 mini games. And that honestly seems like kind of a safe number. So out of all those different options, I feel like they would probably go with the 10 mini game per DLC pack and then basically charge you $20, being like, hey, you're getting 2 boards and 10 mini games and an additional character. That's worth $20. And you know what? If you don't like some of the stuff, then you can pick and choose what you want by buying it individually. And the game that they sold us for $60 has $140 worth of DLC that we could possibly purchase. And again, that's how they get you to buy the game more than once. Oh, we'll give you those Mario Party remakes, but you are going to buy each one of these N64 games. Of course, that's just the first option. Let's explore the second option. So for option 2, we have 5 paid DLC packs. Each pack would have 3 boards, 1 character, and then 10 to 20 minute games. So we'd get all the boards, 5 characters, and then 50 to 100 new mini games. Each pack would cost about $25 to $30, but when you sell the stuff individually, the boards would probably be about $8 to $10, the mini games would be about 50 cents to $1, and then a character would be about $5. So then when it comes down to it, if you really want to save money, you just go ahead and buy the whole DLC pack instead of buying the stuff individually. Unless, of course, you really only like one of the boards, don't care about the character, and just want a couple of the mini games. I also think the $25 to $30 price tag is actually pretty good, considering the fact that stereotypically, Mario Party usually has 6 boards, and this is half the price for about half the boards. But on the other hand, you're getting a lot less minigames, a lot less characters, so I feel like the $25 price is probably what's going to happen, and then when it's all said and done, you'll pay an extra $125 for the DLC, which comes to about $185 total when you include the game, and again, that matches up pretty perfectly with paying for the game 3 times. Now, what would each pack look like? Well, out of the packs I created, I think the Mario pack sounds like it's the most practical to start off with, because it comes with 2 Mario Party 3 boards. And as we said earlier, Mario Party 3 only got 1 board in the Mario Party Superstars game. So Mario's pack would have Mario's Rainbow Castle, Deep Blooper Sea, and Chilly Waters. Now thematically, of course, Chilly Waters and Deep Blooper Sea kind of go together. They both have that water aqua theme. I mean, snow's just basically fluffy water. Mario's Rainbow Castle, on the other hand, it's kind of the outlier. But again, the selling point here is mostly the fact that, look, here's 2 of the Mario Party 3 boards and Mario's Rainbow Castle that come in this Mario pack. And then to follow the Mario pack, we'd be solving the other issue that people have been complaining about, which is, where are the Bowser maps? Well, right here answers your question, because this is the Bowser pack, which comes with Bowser's Magma Mountain, Bowser Land, and Eternal Star. I feel like this one's pretty self-explanatory. They're all very Bowser themed, so let's go ahead and move on to the next one, which I think would be Luigi's pack, which comes with Luigi's Engine Room, of course, Creepy Cavern, and Western Land. Now, I already talked about why Luigi's Engine Room and Creepy Cavern go together, and then Western Land I feel like was a good fit. One, because that gives a balance to this pack where there's a Mario Party board from each of the different Mario Parties. And then, I don't know, I feel like Western Land can kind of fit with the vibe. I mean, it doesn't exactly fit with them, but I don't know, I feel like with all 3 of these, there's kind of like a dirty element, you know, with engine rooms and coal and cowboys and the Wild West desert. And then caverns. I don't know, it just, in my brain, it fits. If it doesn't fit in your brain, that's fine. Anyways, let's move on. So for our 4th DLC pack, we've got the Wario and Waluigi pack, which comes with both Wario's Battle Canyon, Waluigi Island, and then to top it off, we also throw in Pirate Land. Again, this is a very well balanced one because it's 1 from each game. Waluigi Island is something that a lot of people have been wanting and asking for. And then Wario's Battle Canyon is kind of the weak one. Pirate Land is kind of the middle tier one. So I feel like this is actually a really good balance. And then of course, Pirates along with Wario and Waluigi, like it kind of makes sense. And then for the 5th and final pack, we'll have DK's pack, which comes with DK's Jungle Adventure, Mystery Land, and Spiny Desert. Again, 1 from each game. Spiny Desert would probably be the favorite of the pack. And then DK's Jungle is probably that one where people are like, yeah, I like that one, it's okay. It's not anyone's favorite, but it's not one that's really hated. And then Mystery Land is the one where, you know, I think most people hate it, but there are some people who do absolutely love it. And I already talked about why DK and Mystery Land kind of go together. And then you kind of throw in Spiny Desert into the mix because, you know, Mystery Land also has a little bit of a desert feel. Like one of the places has that desert vibe with that Egyptian pyramid. And that's why I feel like all of these fit together pretty well thematically. In fact, overall, I feel like the DLC packs for option number 2 are a little bit more balanced because most of them have about 1 board from each of the different games, except for Bowser Pack, which has 2 from Mario Party 1, but Mario Party 1 also had the most boards, so that kind of makes sense. And then you have Mario's pack to kind of counterbalance that because it's got 2 Mario Party 3 boards, and again, if you start with that, then that balances out the original game, which again was lacking a Mario Party 3 board, so I feel like this is a really good way to do it. Now, the one other thing they could possibly do is basically just do Waluigi Island as free DLC and then have a Wario pack just for 2 boards. That way people get their Mario Party 3 board that they've been wanting as the 6th and final board for free, and then you have a Wario pack, but I feel like that Wario pack isn't gonna be as good. I mean, I guess you could knock $10 off of it and people are like, well, that's pretty cheap, and I like Pirate Land and Wario's Battle Canyons. Okay, maybe they fixed some stuff in it. So, I don't know. I kind of go back and forth on that idea, but I really think they'll probably just do the 5 different packs and not give free DLC. Now, the one problem with this option is the fact that it just feels like a lot of content. And they might be scared of trying to charge $25 or $30 for a DLC pack, as opposed to the other option, which is cheaper and they only have to do 2 boards per pack. But that just seems like a lot of packs in option 1, because you have to do 7 packs plus a free DLC. So while I do lean towards option 2 more than option 1, I do think option 1 is more viable and realistic in some ways. But then, I know I said I was going over 2 options, but there is a 3rd option. Yes, I brought you in under false pretenses. I told you there were 2 options and now there's a secret 3rd one. But you know what? You got 5 extra minutes. It's not very likely, but let's just entertain the idea. This final option would basically be the same thing as Super Smash Bros. Ultimate Fighters Pass, where you buy the pass and then they slowly release content one by one and you kind of just find out the day they announce it, which is kind of a good thing, because if there are a lot of boards out there that people are like, I don't know about buying that particular one, this option kind of covers their butts a little bit. And we'll talk about why specifically here in a second, because there are two different ways you could do this. Nintendo could introduce something that we'll call it the Party Pass. And they're going to say that there's going to be 5 boards inside of this thing, and that there's going to be new characters and mini games, and you just have to go ahead and buy it. But like, I feel like that doesn't work, because 5 boards is basically what this game was. And so I can't imagine them charging anything less than $60. Unless, of course, they're saying, well, you know, we're not creating any new modes with it. We're just giving you boards, mini games, and a couple of characters. We're not, you know, designing an entire game, so we'll only charge you. I still can't see this being any less than $30. Even that seems pretty cheap for 5 boards, mini games, and some characters. But again, Nintendo can go ahead and get you to buy that pass, and then maybe you like all the boards in it, maybe you don't. Maybe you're like, oh man, I didn't want Luigi's Engine Room or Bowser Land. Those are like 2 of the worst ones. But you paid for it up front, which means they already got your money. And then the other way they could do it is basically do 1 free DLC, which of course again would be Mario Party 3. And then they do 7 boards each of these 2 party passes. And I feel like that's extremely unlikely, because that's just a lot of content, it feels like. Again, for something that, when it comes to DLC, I feel like you really can't charge more than like $30. So like, the idea I think is really cool and really interesting, and could work if you just didn't look at it from a numbers perspective, because I do think that if you just looked at it like as the boards, the same way you look at fighters, then it's like, oh yeah, that fits perfectly. You know, you'll get X amount of boards, and then I'll pay $30 for it, and I'll just keep getting them slowly one by one. But I feel like the boards take a lot more work than what the fighters do. And if anything, I actually feel like the fighters were heavily overpriced, because if you look at Super Smash Bros. Ultimate DLC and the amount of fighters you got and the things you got in both of those DLC packs, it cost you another $60 total. And you go back and look at it, and you know what? You paid $60 for the original game that had way more content than what those 2 fighter passes had. So I can't imagine Nintendo undervaluing these boards by being like, oh yeah, we're gonna give you 7 of them for like $30. It's a really cool idea, but I just don't think it works. Speaking of things that don't work, there is one big problem I have with this idea of making everything from the Nintendo 64, or even just a lot of the boards from the Nintendo 64, available all in the same game, and that's matchmaking. There's a small part of me that worries that the more boards that are added onto this game, the harder and more difficult it is going to be to match with people online. Especially when we're talking about the maps that might be a little bit less popular, because they're competing against the ones that people actually really love. Like, for example, if I just do a bunch of check marks, let's just say I check marked all of the boards on Mario Party Superstar when I'm trying to match with people online, I feel like most of the time it either goes to Horrorland or Spaceland, because that's what people are mostly playing. If I deselect those 2, I can still match on another board. But I will say that I feel like even just now, with a limit of 5 boards, I worry that if you add 15 more, those less popular boards aren't going to have as many games available to play as some of the more popular boards. However, the argument for that is, that's the great thing about having the preferences where you can check mark a bunch of different things, because you know what, maybe you really do want to play Wario's Battle Canyon, but you're also okay with playing Pirate Land or Eternal Star or Bowser's Magma Mountain. And so even if you don't get to play Wario's Battle Canyon a lot because people are interested in all the other boards a lot more, you'll still have the ability to match with people on a board you do want to play on. And I'm sure still some of the time you'll be able to match on one of those less popular boards. It's just not going to be maybe as often as you'd like. But then again, if there's a lot of people who like the less popular boards and want to play them online together, you're going to find them eventually, even if you're not all online at the exact same time. Heck, that's one of the great things about the internet. I mean, heck, I found the Discord server Mario Party Netplay, and man, those people love playing Mario Party, and I guarantee you could find someone on there who absolutely loves a less popular board as much as you do. So we talked about the boards quite a bit, but I don't think I want to specifically go into the minigames and which ones could be included in all the different DLC packs, because there's just way more of those, and there's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of minigames to choose from, although I will say I do think that they should mostly be from the N64 era. However, I do have some thoughts on what characters are coming through DLC, but that's going to be for another video, because once again, this one has gotten a little bit longer than I expected. In the next video, I'll be talking about character DLC, the picks I think will be very likely, and the ones that I think will be unlikely. And then I'll also be talking about updates that I think will be very easy to achieve and have a very real chance of showing up, and then also ones I'd love to see but probably won't happen. Either way, that does it for this video. Give it a like if you liked it, give it a dislike if you disliked it, and let me know in the comments below which DLC option you liked more. Did you like option 1 that had 2 boards per pack, or did you like option 2 that had 3 boards per pack? Obviously, we would all love option 3, but I just don't think that's very realistic. If you disagree, let me know why in the comments below. Either way, I'll see you guys next time. Oh, actually, one thing really quick. I just wanted to point out that the idea for chili waters coming soon because it's wintertime wasn't actually my idea. I saw a YouTube video on it and I was like, oh my gosh, that's brilliant. So I wanted to go ahead and post that YouTuber's channel or the video that I saw that from. His name is Swiftja. I think he's Australian, maybe New Zealand, somewhere in that part of the world. But anyway, I'm going to let you guys go now, for real this time, and I'll catch you next time. Actually, one more thing. No, never mind. Go. Just go. Go. Sorry.